You guys asked for it and I delivered. Today we have a purple belt Spash, this time with a purple belt named Moody. Right away, Moody positions both of his feet on the inside of my legs, which will make it easier for him to get underneath me or elevate me with his butterfly hooks. So I split the guard by positioning one of my legs to the inside of his legs and one to the outside. This is a much better passing position. Immediately I hit a leg drag by using two of my arms against one of his legs. I drag it to the side, which positions both of his legs to the outside. This is another example and another angle of a leg drag, but in no gi. I went from both of his legs on the inside to both of his legs on the outside. I keep my knee as close as possible so I can immobilize Moody's hips. I don't want him shrimping out and using his left knee as a frame against me. He almost does, but I make sure to keep something in front of that knee, which in this case is my own left knee, as I control his hips with my arms. Now that I have effective control of his hips, I move on to gaining control of his shoulders by using a lapel grip, which acts as kind of a shallow crossface. Now that I have both his hips and shoulders controlled, I have him controlled and start progressing to mount. He's pushing on me, trying to make space, and he does come somewhat close to making enough space to get his knees back in front of me. And my objective and what I'm prioritizing is the exact opposite. Stay in front of his knees so I can stay past his guard. In my Jiu-Jitsu theory course, I label the knees as layer 2 of defense, because once you get past the knees, you get to the hips. I start taking a collar grip to start attacking a cross collar choke, which I probably should have abandoned, as Moody is starting to turn to his side, and the collar grip here does nothing to stop him from turning to that side. He now finds some space underneath my leg to position both his arms underneath. Because both of his arms are underneath and not just one, he's not at risk of a triangle. This is a great escape and one I use often as well. Though when Moody goes for it, I prioritize staying heavy and grab an underhook. I've taken away his ability to rotate. As you can see, when I hit it successfully, I was able to rotate to complete the escape. But here when he tries it on me, I reacted too fast. It was the underhook especially which really cost him. Moody should have better prioritized preventing that by keeping his elbows tighter. Eventually I'm forced to post out with that underhook arm to keep my balance, and Moody does a great job of using that space to bring his elbow back to his body. I'm now in side control and grab a lapel grip so I can start going for a Kanto choke, and spoiler alert, I'm unsuccessful with it. This is what a proper Kanto choke should look like. As you can see, I'm pulling his lapel, which forces my wrist into his neck, and slightly pushing with my hamstring to force his neck into my wrist. And as you can see, it's a good thing that I ensure good hygiene before I roll. Here I'm unsuccessful with it because I couldn't get the side of his face on my hamstring. Right now it's on my calf. I'm trying to adjust and make it work, but if I continue, I'm just going to neck crank him. So I just let go because I'm not about that life. I'm all for gently putting on a neck crank if that's the intended submission, but neck cranking while trying to choke someone, I consider below my standards. But that's just for rolling. In a tournament, it's on your opponent to tap. Not that you want to hurt them, you shouldn't want that, but if they're being stubborn not tapping because it's more of a crank and their neck is sore after, then they have no one to blame but themselves. There's some cool stuff coming up, but first. Remember when you thought your life would look a certain way by the time you reached a certain age? Perhaps you thought you'd have it all figured out in your early 20s like I thought I did. I remember coming out of high school thinking that success would just be bound to happen for me. But there I was years later, not even close to where I wanted to be. I had dropped out of college and I was working a dead-end job. I realized that success wasn't a given, it had to be earned. But the stress of how to do it was incredibly difficult to manage, and it left me severely depressed. It left me feeling like I needed someone to talk to, someone to confide in. Luckily, my wife Nikki has always been there for me to lend an ear and help navigate mine and our path. And if you feel like that, like how I felt back in the day, then understand that conversation can help a lot, especially with someone skilled and experienced with it, and especially with someone who is trained like a therapist. A therapist will listen, ask questions, and help you see things through a new perspective. They can give you advice and techniques to make positive changes in your life. BetterHelp is the paid partner of this video, and they're on a mission to make starting therapy easier. Fill out a questionnaire and they'll match you with a therapist as soon as possible. Plus, you can easily switch therapist at any time, at no extra cost if it's not the right fit. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform that you can trust. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/JTJJ and get 10% off your first month of therapy. I try to go for an armbar, but I lose control of his elbow and have to bail on it, but I do get back to top position. Moody takes an underhook, but with my hips facing him like this, he quickly realizes the threat of the Kimura and drops his elbow to the mat, taking away the angle that I need to secure it. This is what I was trying to do against this white belt, and look how Moody, a purple belt, notices it right away. Often sensing stuff like this just comes down to more time on the mats. I'm left with a reverse underhook, which is a great tool for entering the truck and taking the back. I often use it to do so. However, I lose control of Moody's leg because he straightens his leg and rids me of my grip. I should have prioritized better control before going for it, but I was just hoping for the best. Although I've been on offense the entire time, Moody has certainly stifled a lot of my attacks, so now I'm a little bit extra motivated to get him. I pop up to my feet and his guard is split, also known as headquarters, and I see the space for an underhook. As Moody is presenting me with an open elbow, I take the underhook and powerfully knee slide through to side control. This style of knee slide is very reminiscent of Andrew Wilsey as well as Leandro Lo. Rest in peace, Leandro Lo. I start transitioning to north-south, and I've got a pretty cool trick up my sleeve planned. I start gripping onto his belt so I can use it to pull Moody into my lap and take his back. I remember learning this when I was a blue belt and thought it was so cool that I hit it successfully in a blue belt tournament, so that kind of brought back memories. I'm trying to get Moody into my lap and he's doing the opposite. He's trying to stay on my lap so that he's not in my lap. Although his hips are not fully in my lap, I still trap his hips by figure four-ing my legs. I'm now on a mission, he's not going anywhere. I start feeding his lapel from one hand to the other to take out the slack. I then free my legs so I can enter a chair sit into a bow and arrow. See if you can identify what Moody could have done better to defend the choke. He wasn't prioritizing preventing my elbow from going behind his head. I made that adjustment here, and once I had it, I could feel that it was game over. Here with this brown belt, who's now a black belt, he fought hard to prevent my elbow from going behind his head. It briefly did, and as you can see, he went into high gear fighting that, and that led to him escaping. But Moody seemingly accepted his fate. We start again, and Moody has his butt up a bit too high in the air. I'm sure you already know what's coming. Seeing someone's butt in the air is a trigger for a balloon sweep, and here I go for the balloon sweep armbar. He does the right thing by landing on his feet and trying to position his weight on top of me to prevent me from extending his arm, but he taps super quick to stay safe. Here's another successful balloon sweep armbar. And here's one where I was unsuccessful. Look how he fights my leg from going over his head in mid-air. That was pretty impressive. We start again, and Moody starts to grab my lapel with this overhook arm. This is a Bravo choke, which is basically a Darce but with a lapel grip. I didn't fight it off at all, and I remember thinking that I should have, because it actually was somewhat tight, and now I needed to proceed cautiously. Moody could have made it tighter by getting a bit of a deeper grip, as well as getting his right arm involved. He could bring his right arm to the right side of my neck, similar to a cross-collar choke. In this case, his left arm would pull his wrist into my neck, and his right arm would push my neck into his wrist. I go over this concept and more choke mechanic concepts in my Jiu-Jitsu theory course. He's doing the right thing by preventing me from getting in front of his knee, as that makes it easier for him to maintain his hip mobility. That's something I often concentrate on when playing guard, and something I concentrate on taking away when passing guard. I eventually do get in front of his knee, but I'm having a hard time completing the pass. I make a bit too much space, and Moody improves his leg positioning, so I just bail on it by posturing up. Alright, let me know what your biggest jiu-jitsu accomplishment was for this year. For me, it was getting back to enjoying training. I had a bit of a lull, where I had gained some weight and wasn't training very much at all. I made some changes in my life and things have been way better. Alright, thank you for sticking around until the end of the video. If you're still here, please answer that question or leave a fist bump, and I'll see you guys next time.